Well, we made it, Chris.
We did. To what? What did we make it to?
I don't know. To today.
That's fair. Yeah, we did.
We made it to today. Hooray, us. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Outside the Cinema, your weekly source for cult movie discussion. For over 16 years. Yeah. Quickly approaching 17 years. Like 16 years sounds like a lot, but 17 years sounds like a drastically larger number to me for some reason. Like, I don't know why. It's like, I got 16
you know
years.
what?
Oh, it's 17.
I have an idea. Maybe like that was the age where you could finally go see an R-rated movie and not get shit from people. So that's a huge jump in like adulthood, sort of, for people like us.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
We've been doing the show for over 16
Yep.
years. Approaching 17 in January of this year. It's crazy to think that. I got something in my eye and it hurts. Ow.
It was your finger.
It was my contact lens. So, back, second week back from our operation imposed hiatus. I'm learning things about my body that I didn't know, and I'm not okay with it. So, it's just like...
I can't say I blame you for that.
Yeah, it's just like, whatever, man, you know? I've got a... As I've been like completely open with everyone on this show, I've got a barium enema coming up on Thursday. Did I talk about that last week?
No, you did say there was some stuff that had to happen.
Yeah, so I'm having a barium enema. Everyone knows what barium is. It's like a liquid metal or whatever. And they have to do a barium enema and then do like a CT scan or an X-ray to make sure that all of the things that they put back together in my last surgery are not leaking. So, and that means that then they can go ahead and do the next surgery and everything. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything, but just the idea that they're like going to do that. Like, okay. Brings whole new meaning to that old Metallica t-shirt, metal up your ass.
Maybe that's exactly what it was about.
Imagine if it was. It wasn't like something like cool.
Well, I found out today that the Monkey song, Last Train to Clarksville, is a Vietnam protest song.
Oh, that's cool. I actually didn't know that either.
Yep, I was surprised.
Yeah, but it's been a big day for me. Looks like the rumors are finally coming true that Oasis is going to be doing a reunion.
Oh, no.
They're announcing it.
Wait, is it a reunion fight or is it a concert?
I mean, it'll probably start as a concert.
If it's going to end as a fight, are they holding it at Applebee's across the nation or something?
No, they're holding it. No, they're holding it at Wembley. Wembley Stadium, or Stadium of Light in Manchester is the two places. Anyone that knows, like, Oasis is my favorite band of all time, and I've seen Liam Gallagher solo a bunch of times. I've seen Noel and High Flying Birds a bunch of times, and I saw Oasis a bunch of times back in the day. But like, this is like the one band. So our listeners in the UK, I may be leaning on you to help me get tickets to a show in London or a show in Manchester, because I already discussed it with Mel, and I was like, hey, it's looking like this is going to happen. Because both Liam and Noel posted on their social medias today the same like 10-second video with tomorrow's date in the Oasis font. And the rumor is that they're going to get together. They're getting back together and they're going to do a run of shows at Wembley and a run of shows. What I guess would be Stadium of Light is the Manchester Stadium.
Okay.
Being a Man City fan, I know these things because, you know, I'm a cultured guy.
I don't know. Does football count as culture?
It's a culture.
Yeah, the weird part about that is, though, to me, is that you don't participate in the other very big part of football culture.
No, I like the sport.
No drinking.
No drinking.
Well, that's
no fighting either.
That's a huge part of that in Britain.
That's a huge part of every sport. I mean,
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Soccer, football, like. But like, I mean, every sporting event here, everyone tailgates beforehand for like, you know, if you go to a Patriots game or an American football game, like people are lined up waiting for them to open the parking lots.
Yeah.
To fucking party before the game starts. So, but yes, if anyone out there would be interested in helping me acquire these Oasis tickets when they go on sale, It's not. The shows aren't supposed to be until next summer. And when we're recording this, they haven't actually announced anything yet. Just so if you listen on Thursday and the announcements have been made, then I did not know that at this time of recording. So, but I'm being fully serious. Mel was like, "Yeah, we can go." She's like, "If that's what's going to take to get you to the UK," she's like, "I'll do that."
And if you're listening to this 5 years from now, this is 2024 August. So there you go.
Yes. So at this point, I probably
or you've seen it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I saw them on one of their last U.S. shows in Las Vegas in 2009. I think they only played like 4 or 5 American shows after that, and then they broke up like 2 months later. So it'll be curious to see. Mel's not convinced that it's actually going to happen, even if they do announce it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm halfway between two of you. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm excited about it though. So, I mean, it would be awesome. I mean, as we know, the history of the Gallagher brothers, they've never really gotten along. So it's not like there's like it's not about money because both of them have all of the money they could possibly need.
Why start a band if you can't get along?
Well, they're brothers. Yeah. I mean, some of the biggest bands of all time notoriously had members that just don't get along.
Yeah.
Joe Perry and Steven Tyler and Aerosmith hate each other's guts.
Yeah, one of the Ramones.
Just the first example.
Ramones was a fucking Republican KK. Whatever. No, that's too much. But he was the song KKK Took My Baby Away is about him taking Joey's girlfriend. So, yeah, I get that. But I don't at the same time.
I don't know. And also, I mean, you got to remember, like, they were together for, 20 years before they broke up?
What did they fight about?
Everything, it seems. Everything. I don't know. Right. I gather that they're both probably just insufferable to deal with. Like, and it's just a thing.
Did the fighting get worse after they got famous? Like big?
I don't think so.
I don't know much about them. I mean,
there's tons of videos of them like screaming at each other on stage, and like when they eventually broke up, Noel quit. It was just he posted, he's like, just so everyone knows, I quit Oasis today. I can no longer deal with Liam and his bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, people go no contact with family.
I mean, yeah. And the thing too is, it's like, you know what? Gifted musicians are probably pretty difficult to deal with. Especially at that level.
Yeah, but they don't have to be. That's the thing.
Sure they do. I don't know. Let's talk about movies. Nobody cares about Oasis other than me. Actually, that's not true.
A lot of people do. Oasis, I don't, but
most of our listeners probably don't. So this week we're going to talk about 2 new releases. We're going to talk about Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, and we are talking about the 3rd film in the X series. I think that's what is that what they call it? Is it the X series or is it the
That's the tough part because it switches main characters chronologically halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess we're talking primarily about MaXXXine. We'll talk about the other 2 films a little bit to go along with it too, but
we can
primarily
call it the Mia Goth trilogy.
Yeah, that's fine. Ty West's 3 films with Mia Goth is what we can call it. So those are the 2 films we're gonna focus on today. I did want to make mention though. I watched season 1 of The Boys. I'd never watched The Boys. You watched The Boys, right?
I did. I haven't started this new season yet because every time I watch The Boys, I get through the whole season and I'm like, yeah, that was what the fuck was that on my desk? I'm like, that was enjoyable. They're doing a pretty good job because I have read the comic and I fucking hate it because it's shock for shock value.
Right.
And that.
Well, so is the show. There's a lot of fucked up stuff in the show. But so I've only watched the first season. I'm going to start the second season later.
There's a comic arc that like totally turned me off to the whole thing, and they sort of do it in the show, and it's okay. It's actually fine in the show.
Okay.
But it's so dark and fascist that like I don't want to go back to it. But then I'll see a scene and I'll be like, all right, what's Huey up to now? And then I'll watch it. So I just haven't got to that point in my head where I'm like, okay, I need to start it up again. What season are they on? 4?
I think 4's done, and they have another season. 4's been done for a while.
Right.
and I think the 5th season starts, I think, like December.
Oh, okay.
And then they have that spin-off show. I don't know the name of the spin-off show.
Oh, it's about, what's her name? You haven't met her yet.
Yeah, okay. All I know is it's from the world of the boys, it says, or whatever.
Yeah, I like the idea, but I think really it's Anthony Starr that made that show for me what it is. That man is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, he is.
He's absolutely the best. He needs awards for acting with barely moving your face but scaring your audience.
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah. Love it.
Terrifying.
I really do. But I hate it at the same time.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it when I watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all right, cool. Well, let's and Joe's back this week. Joe's back, and Scott will be here at the end of the show too. So all right. Do you want to do which one? Do you have a preference to which one we do first?
No, maybe Furiosa first.
All right, cool. I can click on that and play the trailer very easily, I think.
If you find him, he's mine.
They took Furiosa!
Protect the green place. Protect the green place.
My mother. She was magnificent.
Dementus! Look what I found.
Who do we have here?
She's from a place of abundance.
What's your name? Tomorrow, I'll follow the tracks that brought you here and I'll take you home.
Whatever you have to do, however long it takes, promise me you'll find your way home. Plant this seed. Protect the green place. Give me this one gift. Promise. Promise.
All right, I'm going to stop right there because that's actually a very long trailer. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga 2024. Starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth. I'm just going to stop for a sec here and just say Chris Hemsworth is fucking amazing. And
he was pretty good.
I loved him. Well, I thought it was great. We'll get back to that in a minute. Tom Burke, Ayla Brown, and a whole host of other Angus Sampson, Charlie Frazier. I mean, there's Nathan Jones is in this. Josh Holloway. There's so many character actors that pop up that you're just like, oh shit, that guy.
Yep.
And it's directed by George Miller, written by George Miller with his writing partner, Nick LaRose. George Miller is, he is Mad Max.
Yeah.
He's been there since the beginning. He did the original story and screenplay, worked on all the original films, and has always continued to be part of this world, which I think is very impressive because he's got to be well into his 70s at this point, right?
Imagine. Let me see.
1945.
So
yeah, he's up there.
He's 79. So 80. He's 80.
That's insane that he's working on movies like this at that age and still writing really interesting stories and just like pumping it out. So this is the origin story of the massively successful Fury Road.
Yeah.
Sorry. Totally was reading one thing and thinking something else. Fury Road, which came out, 7 years ago? Or now probably
longer,
at this point, 6, 7 years?
Well, to quote Nightmare Before Christmas, longer now than it seems.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right? Massively successful. Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron. I loved Fury Road. I thought Fury Road was everything I wanted in a new Mad Max movie.
100%.
And it's really interesting because I went back and rewatched all the original. I watched rewatched Mad Max, rewatched Road Warrior, rewatched Thunderdome, rewatched Fury Road. Because I've had some time on my hands. And it's so interesting to see the changes in this world as we get further away from the original Mad Max. You watch the original Mad Max, society is collapsed for the most part, but there's, Mel Gibson's Mad Max was a police officer. And he became the outlaw that he became because of these roving gangs. They kill his wife, they kill his kid, and he becomes the road.
Yeah, and then society just is in the toilet, so you do what you got to do after that.
Right. Yeah, completely falls in on itself. You see a major change from Mad Max to the Road Warrior, but things are still somewhat there. But then you get to Thunderdome, and everything is a fucking desert.
Yep.
The gas and the water thing becomes a much, much bigger part of the story. And it's just, it's crazy. Thunderdome I love Beyond Thunderdome.
It's a weird movie. I'm not saying that as a bad thing.
No, yeah, it is bizarre. Because the jump it takes in comparison to the villains and the characters from the Road Warrior is just so far.
It feels like the next generation of inhabitants after Max's generation, the ones that survived the war or whatever.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. And Tina Turner, obviously, in just such an iconic role.
That outfit alone, the chainmail dress was real chainmail from what I remember, which is nuts.
Fucked her back up for a long time afterwards because of how heavy it was.
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
But Thunderdome is just it's stupid fun. It's big cinematic, ridiculous fun. And then when you got to Fury Road, which was a long time, I don't remember exactly how long afterwards, but 20 years plus afterwards, the story that they give you there of and you're not even really, if Tom Hardy is Max or not, it's kind of it's hinted at, but it doesn't necessarily. It could just be another story in this world. And it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But that world is even crazier than what we got in Thunderdome. And Thunderdome was already batshit nuts.
That's true. Yeah.
So, when we meet Immortan Joe and his, the crew of the boys with him and the blood bag thing, it's crazy.
Yeah. I love Immortan Joe.
Immortan Joe's great. Originally, in the last one, in Fury Road, played by the guy that played Toe Cutter in the original.
Yeah, you can see it in his eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. He passed away a couple years ago. So when we saw that they were going to make a Furiosa, it was a couple years. It was in development pretty much almost right from the time of Fury Road, but it took a little while. And then when you see the scope of these movies, you understand why it takes 7-8 years to make one of these movies because they're just so crazy over the top. But Furiosa is one of those characters that is just really, really interesting. And Charlize Theron's portrayal of her is awesome. And Anya Taylor-Joy's take is near perfect to fall into what Charlize Theron does in that movie. She's I think incredibly underrated.
Who? Which one?
Well, not so much Charlize Theron because but I think Anya Taylor-Joy is, maybe not underrated because she's obviously very well known, but she fucking kicks ass in this.
At the time she hadn't done Queen's Gambit when she got this role. I had read, so that's kind of a little coup for Miller getting her.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit is really what put her on the map.
Yeah, but I like her because she takes these different roles that you wouldn't expect somebody that's been in a huge Netflix show to do. She was in New Mutants, right?
Yeah, she was.
And she was in this, and it's just I like it when they do, and I hate the term, but I like it when they do genre stuff. Yeah, that's why I like I'll give Wesley Snipes the benefit of the doubt here or there because like he does stuff. He doesn't understand the movies he makes if you watch interviews. But they're into it, and it's just they want to do it, and I think that for me feels more fun than Daniel Day-Lewis, for instance, because he just does.
Okay,
all he does is drama, pretty much, just straight up like Oscar stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we met her. The Witch is probably where anyone first kind of really saw her. I mean, she was in a few things before that, like Vampire Academy and a couple other things, but like, she was Thomasine in The Witch. The Witch, a film that I wasn't necessarily super in love with, but I appreciated. And then she was in, I'm looking at her thing right. She was in a bunch of the Atlantis show. She was in like a bunch of episodes of that. She was in Split. I forgot she was in Split.
I never saw that.
Oh, Split was good. Surprisingly good.
Okay.
And then she was in Glass as the same character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She was Bria in The Dark Crystal.
Oh,
too.
That's right. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, New Mutants.
That's good. Netflix fucked that one up too, of course.
Of course they did. Oh, and she was in The Northman. Okay, so maybe she was in. Okay, so maybe I'm
well, The Northman was after all of that, sort of, but this had a lot of post production. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about Dune Part 2 yet, which we'll get to at some point. But she has she plays Alia Atreides.
Oh, that's right.
Also.
That's right.
So so she's everywhere now. But this film, Furiosa and Mad Max Saga, is Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth's like the two of them just fucking doing it all. The story is pretty simple. Furiosa is a young girl. They live in one of the few places that's still green and has water. She is kidnapped by like a group of roving bandits who bring her back to Dementis, who is Chris Hemsworth's character. He likes to fancy himself the king of everything, even though he's not. But he's one of those leaders who inadvertently destroys everything he touches because he can't manage anything.
He is more interested about his image than what he's doing.
Yeah. And
you can see that through him appropriating a number of costume pieces from other characters.
So funny. So basically she's brought to them. He keeps her, but he wants to use her to find this place. Her mother follows them, tries to get her out of there. They kill her mother, and then she's stuck with them for a while. And then in Dementis's attempt to seize power in other places, we meet up with a Morton Joe who's this is earlier on obviously because it's a prequel to Fury Road, and he thinks he's going to just kind of come in and he's going to just take Morton Joe's stuff, and Morton Joe's sick boys are not sick boys. What are they called?
Oh shit. War Boys.
I can't think of it.
War Boys.
War Boys. Like, he just has one guy just fucking jump off the roof or whatever.
Yeah.
And die just to prove that, like, these guys are not fucking around.
Dedicated cult. Yeah. That was kind of chilling.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, and they strike a deal. No, it's okay.
And Morton Joe really comes off here as a really good, an intelligent character and a schemer who has multiple plans in place, which I liked because he's my favorite villain from
he's
Mad
a
Max,
great villain. Yeah, and in this, it's really interesting because even though he is still the bad guy, you don't despise him nearly as much as you do as the withered old man that he is in Fury Road.
Well, because he hasn't started up his production line, I guess, with the women.
Yeah, no, it's already going. He's just not. He doesn't seem as exploitative.
Okay, yeah,
if that makes sense.
I thought we were witnessing like the beginning of it, but no. If he has those two kids that are mutants, then yeah, he's been doing that. Never mind. I retract my sentence.
No, all good, all good. But it seems like everything for him is at a different level. He is not the like. I mean, he's definitely still power hungry, but like. The difference between Dementis and him is Dementis is just trying to seize power wherever he can, and he thinks that he deserves it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So, you're telling me we got an old guy named Joe.
Oh, no.
going up against a guy that thinks he knows what he's doing, but fucks it all up. I rest my case.
Fair enough. Okay. But yeah, like Dementus just like doesn't. He sees his power where he can. He ends up taking over the Gasland.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta
and just
yeah,
like
sorry.
No, go.
We gotta take these people's names, quite literally, because we got Furiosa because she's furious, right? But it's Dementus. Dementia is a mental condition, and it's perfect. It works for him. It's an intimidating sounding name, and kind of gives you a sneak preview of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So they're not just silly names that they're giving them, which I like.
No, not at all. So they bring Furiosa in. She's part of the deal that Dementus makes with Immortan Joe, and he's going to have Furiosa be one of his wives. But she's able, because she's and we know right from the start, she's real crafty. She's real smart. She's able to escape and hide herself as a boy for a number of years. And then basically works her way into working with Praetorian Jack, who is the guy that drives the big rig to move the gas and goods and foods and stuff back and forth between Gasland and the ammunition land and like those places. And she does it brilliantly. She's able to hide who she is until he takes her under his wing. And there's a bit of like a romantic thing going on between them that develops over time.
It's all,
but
they never really act on it, which I like.
No, there's definitely like a mutual respect and a love between the two of them, whether it's a brother-sister love or like there's definitely a feeling there for them.
They've been through a lot.
Yeah. And I loved the Praetorian Jack character. I thought he was great because you didn't at first really know what his deal was. Yeah. And then you come to find out he's working and he just wants the best.
Yeah.
For his situation, for what he can do. And he even tells Furiosa, and he knows, he's like, I know you're not here for this. So when the right time comes, I'm going to set you free and you can do your thing.
Yeah. And
just like most action movies, it doesn't work out the way you want it to.
No, but they do frame him in one of the shots to not even like hint at, but to like show you can trust him. He's okay. And that's when he walks back from the truck and his silhouette looks just like Max, which I really like.
Yeah. That was cool.
And I read, because I tried to read a little bit, but not a lot about this. It said that it's one of the only characters in the script that's described as honorable. And I like that. Because I did not trust him. Why would I? Right?
Well, that was the thing. You're shown early on that you literally can't trust anybody.
Right.
So it's good to see that he definitely is the like trustworthy character that you think
Which
he
is also nice too, because then you know that his decision making and morals and honor or whatever is going to inform how she navigates that world. So it's like you're being the person you want everybody else to be, which is nice.
So we said the story is great. They dot their I's, they cross their T's. But just like most of the Mad Max movies, the real centerpiece here is the fucking action sequences. And this is just like as good as Fury Roads were, and Fury Roads were fucking really good. These are on par, if not better, because they're able to really work like the limited CG that's done, because it is like they were out there doing a lot of this stuff.
Before you go any further, I will say that Fury Road had 2,000 effect shots. This one had 20,000.
Okay, so yeah, but they're less noticeable, I thought.
There's a lot of bad green screen in this.
There's a few, but like overall, like it works.
No, I'm not. It didn't turn me off to the thing, but my brain cannot shut off that light on the characters is different than the light in the background. I can't, and I hate that. But yeah, so I noticed that shit, and I don't want to.
Well, regardless of what you think, I thought it looked fucking great. Like
I'm not arguing that it looked
and some
good.
of those the green screens, like I feel like they're almost done to give it that kitsch factor.
Well, good. This leads in very nicely. I thought my streaming was weird or something till I looked up the fact that on the first Mad Max, they obviously had a super teeny tiny budget, and they couldn't afford the film to slow down to do the fast motion stuff, the sped up stuff, or whatever. But they cut out frames to make it faster. And that was how it got its look, its sped up look. And they emulated that here. But I think there's two problems with that. He didn't do it in Fury Road. And the only people that are going to appreciate that probably won't watch it till it comes home.
Right. Yeah. Did he have a different DP?
I don't know
on this. I mean, I'll look. You keep talking.
Yeah.
I'll look.
What the fuck are we talking about?
You were talking about them cutting frames.
Oh, yeah. So we're watching, and all of a sudden, a character, not a car or an action scene or something, just the character starts moving a little faster, like just that sped up thing, like the Ecto one coming out of the firehouse for the first time because that car couldn't accelerate or turn for shit.
Different DPs.
Oh, okay.
Different DPs.
So it happened a lot, and in the first like 2/3 of the movie, then it seemed like it kind of dropped away. But every time it happened, it was like a little jolt to my brain, and because it's like whoa, because I'm so worried, like the internet will go down or the computer, stupid shit I shouldn't be worrying about. But every little thing is like, oh, what's broken now? So
right. I know what you're saying.
But I understand why he did it. I can appreciate it, and I'm not going to complain about that anymore.
Yeah. So, I had mentioned how much I loved Chris Hemsworth in this, and obviously Chris Hemsworth is a fucking huge movie star. He's been Thor for what, almost 15 years now at this point. My favorite thing that he does in this, though, is the cheesy, over the top Australian accent where he sounds like he's hosting a fucking game show.
Yeah.
It's so good, and it works so well when he's like dealing with people, and he gets on the loudspeaker, and I don't even want to attempt to do it because I won't be able to do it any justice. But and he gets on there, and he's just like, so let me tell you, it sounds so over the top. And then even when it gets to a point where, spoiler alert, it's going to get down to him and Furiosa at some point, when he starts trying to bargain with her, he's still in this Wink, what's his name? The guy that used to host,
Wink Martindale.
Wink Martindale, and he's doing this shtick, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah. I fucking.
She wants none of it.
No.
None of it.
No. None of it.
And that's really interesting because you got guys like Lord Humongous. And we know how he got his name, obviously. But
Giant feet.
He's terrifying. And he understands what you need to do in this world. And it's not fuck around. Because this dude finds out more than Sherlock Holmes in this movie. He's just getting served like nobody's business.
Yeah. But his brand of chaos is he's a fucking
it's insane.
Slash and burn.
Yeah.
If he's not going to get his way, fuck everything.
Yeah. Which is what happens with the bullet farm and all of that. It's just okay. There were some parts of this movie that I thought were overly convoluted and drawn out. And I don't say that
story-wise,
very
you mean?
often. Yeah, pacing,
okay,
that kind of stuff. The story, I get.
It's long, 2 hours and 28 minutes. It's a long movie.
It feels like they could have really, how long was Fury Road? Got to be 140, right?
No. It was 2, I think, just over 2.
Huh? It is 2. Wow. So
2 hours exactly.
So why is the other one feel so much better? Paced with pacing.
I thought that I liked the pacing.
Okay,
in this.
I'm gonna watch it again, but I just after a
Why does it feel so long? I guess I'll watch it again to find out.
I don't
why.
have a problem with that. But like, I got halfway through, and I'm like, okay, I know what they're trying to do. Why can't we just do that? Just move to that part of the story.
I feel though like that is kind of part of the story.
Yeah,
though. Like,
I know.
Nothing is done easy in this world.
Yeah.
So like sometimes things are long and drawn out because they got to be long and drawn out because it's not, you can't just like call an Uber to get to where you need to get to, you know? Like,
Here's another question for you, though. This is the first movie. This isn't the question. This is the first movie that shows that it is actually in Australia for 100% sure. No guesswork.
Yes.
Why don't they go to the coast?
because if you're in the middle of the continent, you're a long way from the coast.
Yeah, I know. But if it's that or die, start walking.
Well, maybe you can't get there because of whatever's happening.
I don't know.
Or maybe the coast is owned. Maybe the coast is owned by people that you're not going to be able to beat. You think a Morton Joe's bad?
Maybe.
Try,
Maybe.
Unamorton Joe. Unamorton Bob that works the coast. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Yeah, I think that would be something interesting to explore in future ones, different areas of the country instead of just the outback.
Yeah, and this was pretty successful. I don't know exactly what it made for money, but I know it was pretty successful and it's doing very well. It's streaming on Max in the US. And I mean, obviously you can get it on like Prime and all those other places too, but like it's included Max and it's doing very well there too. So, my worry is that, you know, George Miller has been in control of this franchise since its inception. You know, he is 80 years old.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he won't be with us forever as much as I would love for him to be.
With
Maybe he can figure
our
that
luck,
out.
it'll be after the show goes up, because that
Yeah.
has happened in the past.
We were Mel and I were watching that American Murder Lacey Peterson
Okay, yeah.
documentary series, and no, was that what it was? Yeah, I think that's what we were watching. I don't know. We were watching something, and Phil Donahue. No. I'm sorry. We were watching the Secrets of the Chippendales.
Okay.
Which is a A&E documentary series about the guy that created Chippendales
Interesting.
and how he essentially how he hired like guys to like murder people and stuff because he got bum deals. It's actually
Where is this?
it's on Hulu.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit, I gotta watch that. That's weird.
Dude, it's fucking great. It's really good.
Male
Like,
stripper, assassin, hitman. You had me at hitman, which was the last.
I had
word.
you at male stripper. Don't even try to lie.
Male.
No.
Done.
Very good. Very good. Surprisingly so. And Phil Donahue is a talking head in a lot of it.
Yeah.
And Mel and I were like, I looked at Mel and I go, Mel, I'm like, I would have sworn that Phil Donahue had died. And she's like, yeah, me too. And then he fucking died the next morning.
Oh God.
Because he died. It was like last week he died.
Oh wow, was it? That's right.
Which was insane to me that I was like, I could have sworn he was dead. And sure enough,
Yeah.
the curse of Bill strikes again.
Yep. Okay.
I could have sworn Donald Trump died. Just saying.
Well, let me check.
Sworn he did. No, it'll be tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Sorry, did totally off point there. But I worry though because George Miller has been in control of this.
Yeah.
And at some point he won't be able to. And if they do want to continue doing it, like it could go any number of directions. You could find somebody that could totally do this and like be like, yes, great.
Yeah.
Or they could totally just make it some other like shitty action series. You know what I mean? Because how often do we see series just take that turn?
Yeah. The one
and
thing you don't want to do is start up a whole bunch of projects, just one at a time, and then
one at a time and see where we're
make sure you have a plan, like Battlestar Galactica, like not like them, the opposite of them. Have a plan. That's all. We don't want much from movies.
I
Just
mean,
don't make it look like you threw that shit together at the last minute.
Or
Yeah.
you do the Fast and the Furious and you just throw everything at the fucking wall.
I mean, yeah, I'll take that too.
Because like I've seen all of the Fast and the Furious movies now, and for years I was like, no, fuck that, stupid. They got better. You got to the fifth
I've
one.
heard that.
They brought the Rock in, and they were just like, let's shoot down a helicopter with a Corvette. Like, and they're like, oh yeah, we could crash a Corvette into the 63rd floor of the Khalif Tower in Dubai. Sure, why not? Like, and then they're gonna drive down the stairs, and you're like, no.
Well, how else?
But then you watch and you're like, this is great.
How else would you get out of there?
obviously.
Yeah, I heard one.
Oh yeah, we could drive from one skyscraper to the other, and they're great. They're great, and they can even the one that they put out last year, Fast X. Like, I wish I could say that I'm not going to put these on the top 10 list or anything like that, but like, goddamn, for the 2 hours and 10 minutes they run, enjoyed the shit out of them.
Yeah, what was it?
You know what I mean? Like,
one was a big surprise hit, but that was kind of small scale, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, the first one was Paul Walker was a cop that was undercover and he was infiltrating these street racing gangs.
Yeah, completely realistic. Mostly.
Right, yeah, seriously.
And then 2 was okay. 3
Too Fast, Too
sucked,
Furious,
right?
Too Fast, Too Furious was a little bit more than the first one.
Okay.
First blood to Rambo. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And then the third one was Tokyo Drift, which had nothing to do with the previous 2.
Yes, I remember that.
And then they brought the fourth one back, and they definitely started to amp it up. It was still on the lines of the second one, but it was Fast 5. They brought The Rock in, and like, just were like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna fucking completely, and that's I think why they work is they completely take the common sense, could this happen thing off the table.
And if you do that, I am perfectly happy with your movie. You show me this is a surrealist nightmare of a thing, I'll take anything you put on the screen.
Right. And that's the thing is, like, if you just throw all of the rules out and don't go back to any, you can't fuck it up.
Right.
It's where a lot of these movies fuck up is where they take half the book. They're like, here's the rule book. They rip off the first half of it. And they're like, we're going to forget about this. But, in the 12th hour, this is what this is going to be the reason, like, whatever happens. Fast and Furious, they just completely. Anyway, I don't know how we got on that, but depending on where where the Mad Max saga could go, I think all 5 of the films have been great. So why don't we grade it, Chris?
Okay.
Mission failure.
Nope, that was the wrong button. That also was the wrong button. There we go. Christopher, do you recommend, and what is your grade for Furiosa Mad Max Saga?
Yeah, I'll recommend it. It's fun. If you loved Fury Road, then it's definitely there's a lot of nice connectivity, I guess is the right way to say that, because it's not, necessarily story stuff, but like they'll say something and you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that guy, or I know where that is. And it's good because it creates this cohesiveness between this small group. Because that's real. I mean, what do you got? Like maybe 10,000 people between all of them at most, maybe 5,000. Right. And it just, it's that story. It's telling the story of those two characters, Joe and Furiosa. And that's good. They don't make it too much bigger. It doesn't like come outside of what it needs to be. None of that stuff that you see when it's like, I'm gonna make a follow up to my movie from 50 years ago. And then you get something that would have worked in the 80s, right? But this works. This works now. This is pretty good. I did not have as much fun with this as I did Fury Road, probably because Fury Road was a complete surprise. I had no idea it was going to be that nuts. And then this one, you're like, it better be that nuts. And it really wasn't for me, but it was just below. Like, if I was to let a grade how nuts this is, like out of 5, first one would be like a 4.5, right?
Right.
And then this one would probably be a 4 or 4.25, that kind of thing.
So a little bit off, but not.
Yeah, it's not its predecessor, but it's good. And I give it a B+. I had fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna give it a pretty high recommend. Anyone that's listened to this show over the years knows I'm a huge fucking fan of exploitation stuff. And the original Mad Max was definitely in the world of exploitation. They were, doing what they could, and there's just so many films from that time period, stuff like Stunt Rock. what was it, Razorback?
Razorback was good. I've been seeing that thing show up on people's top lists lately.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. The first animal attack movie, aside from Jaws, where I'm like, yeah, that could do some fucking damage.
Yeah, some of those Australian movies, like Turkey Shoot, Road Games, like those, like just crazy, like over the top nuts movies are just like, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And this has that spirit. It doesn't look like that, obviously, because it's like a $300 million movie or whatever the hell it was. But like, it has the spirit of that stuff. And George Miller, that's where George Miller came from. So like, this is like, this hits for me. Like, it's totally in my wheelhouse. So unless you really fuck it up, I'm going to be on board. And I really was pleasantly surprised because I kind of went into it thinking like, there's no way they're going to be able to keep up with Fury Road. Right. And I think Fury Road is probably my favorite in the series. I think this might be my second favorite. They actually maybe go in reverse order now that I'm thinking about it, with the exception of Fury Road, Furiosa, Thunderdome, Road Warrior, Mad Max. But I love all of them. Like, I love all of them.
Yeah,
and it's kind of weird that the early films are actually probably my least favorite of them.
Well,
because they didn't really hit that stride of over the top batshit insane till they got to Thunderdome.
Yeah, 2 was a little, it's like, oh, look at this. Look at this Jason Chrome mask naked dude in a leather thong. That's nuts. And it's like, yeah, okay. Look at this.
Like, right.
But at the time, it was like, that's what World War III is going to look like. So I better go get my hockey mask.
I better go get my leather G-string.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really loved Furiosa. I thought it was great. One of my favorite movies of the year. Most likely will be on that list at the end of the year. I'm going to give it an A-. And I really, really enjoyed it. So
nice.
Now, let's move on to the new Ty West flick.
Okay.
I hit the wrong button. Maxine, which is the third in the trilogy, which started with X, was followed by Pearl, and then Maxine that came out this spring. So before I play a trailer, I'm going to say that when we talked about X at the time, I was not really a huge fan.
Yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed about. It's personal taste. It's okay.
Yeah. And Pearl, the sequel, we talked about when we watched it, and I was not. I really didn't like Pearl. I still don't.
No,
I rewatched about half of it. I just don't. I don't get it. People lose their mind over it too.
I am open to hearing why. I'm not going to fight anybody on it because horror is the most subjective next to comedy.
Yep. So this series, X was the first film. Pearl was a prequel of the main villains from X, and then Maxine is a direct sequel to X.
Yes.
Starring Mia Goth as Maxine Minx, and then a bunch of other actors, some of which you may recognize. We will talk about them momentarily, but first I'm going to play this trailer.
A24 presents the follow-up to a film that possessed a nation. The Puritan 2.
Cut!
The blood's wrong.
Molly Bennett, meet Maxine Minx.
Pleased to meet you.
Sorry.
We've all got blood on our hands now.
The past ain't finished with you, Maxine. Ain't nowhere to hide. There's show business. You never work in this town again.
Maxine, what are you hiding?
I've seen the devil stalking me. I can feel his power. We've made it to the belly of the beast. You must eliminate all distractions, or the beast will spit you right back out.
Time to pay for your sins.
It's America's new scream queen.
Maxine fucking Minx.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right. Oops, sorry.
The power of film.
All right. So Maxine, 2024, directed by Ty West. Ty West, a beloved figure in the genre world, directed The House of the Dead, which was the first thing that we really recognized him from, which I still really love House of the Dead. The Innkeepers I've grown to like. At the time I wasn't super into it.
I remember that, yeah.
And then what was the other? He's done a lot of TV work.
He did that realistic segment in VHS in the first one.
Yes. The Sacrament was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Cabin Fever 2.
I don't know.
Which was fun. Yo, we covered it on the show at one point.
Was that the Spring Break one? Or
Spring Fever,
Spring Fever? Yeah, okay. That's Mad Max style crazy. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, this is the third film in the series. Mia Goth plays Maxine. She is a adult film star who is trying to cross over to the mainstream. And this takes place in, was it 1985, I think it's supposed to be?
Oh, hold on. I narrowed it down to a 2-week period.
A 2-week period, he says.
Yeah. It was the song from St. Elmo's Fire.
Okay.
Top song. And it said it was, Casey Kasem there said it was number 1 that week, which means, scrolling. Oh, it's not going to fucking show me.
It was 85 though,
it's
right?
It's 85, and it's, I want to say, the second and third week of September.
That works.
I'll find out while you do some more.
Okay.
Some more of that.
So Maxine is the character from X who survives the Texas porn star massacre, which is what it is noted as in the newspaper. She, for whatever reason, was able to get away undetected and was not implicated in this. She's now back home in Hollywood. She's a pretty well-known adult film star in the wild world of 1980s pornography.
So this is interesting because it's kind of close to today. It was number 1 for 2 weeks. The first was the week of September 7th, 1985, and then it would be obviously the 14th. The song was created and edited within 24 hours.
Yep, sounds about right.
Huh. So that was something I was doing because like when the story's easy to follow, I look for anachronistic shit because I'm pedantic and a fucking asshole. So I started with like the first things. When was the first video store? Blah, blah, blah. You know, that kind of, it was 79, by the way, 77 somewhere. So at that point, then I'm like, okay, these are the movies that are out. I need something. I want to know. I want to try and figure out for myself when this happens. And I did. So I'm happy. Good. I don't know what the point of that was. Oh, the point of that is I think they were pretty good with their period piece.
Agreed.
Continuity stuff and set dressing and all that. I don't think I found anything that's really like, dummy, you should have known that kind of thing.
Right. I felt like they paid very close attention to this. So we're reintroduced to Maxine going to read for a part in an upcoming horror movie. We're let known that they're doing a sequel to a film called The Puritan, which was a massive success. They're now making the sequel, and she is reading for one of the main roles in that. And she talks about how, getting into horror films is going to make her a mainstream actress. And what we learned about her character in X was, she's kind of cutthroat in wanting to be a star.
Yeah. I'd say asshole, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. She's not, not a super likable character.
You can take the word super out of there. That's fine. She's a piece of shit.
Yeah. She's not a likable character.
And that's not because
she's more likable in this than she was in. So
I'm not saying that because of her job. It's her personality.
No, yeah. I have not been a fan of Mia Goth in general. I did not particularly like her in X. I already said I did not like Pearl. I didn't really like her in Infinity Pool at all.
I still haven't watched that yet.
It was fine. Skarsgård's actually probably the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't understand. People were like, I'm not gonna say obsessed with her, but like people were very much like, oh, Mia Goth is the next big thing, and I just didn't get it.
I can see why people would say that, but yeah, no, I'm with you.
I just didn't get it.
She'll be a figure in horror and A24 style stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't get it until this movie.
Okay.
She is, I don't want to say so much better, because she's not necessarily doing anything that she didn't do in any of her other films, but this time period, her look, her swagger, the way she carries herself, works so much better in this than it did in the in the first two films in the series and anything else that I've seen her. And she's been in more than just these films. Yeah. It's not like, but for whatever reason, her aesthetic worked for 1980s Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it worked. So it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody in this looked out of place, which is a huge feat for a period piece, because every once in a while you get that one guy in the back that's like, hey, he's thinking about Godzilla. Stop him. You could just tell by the look on his face.
Bizarre.
I don't know.
So she comes back. She's trying out to make these roles, but there's kind of this weird stuff going around. They're talking about the Night Stalker, and how the Night Stalker is killing people, and then one of her friends gets murdered, and then another one of her friends gets murdered, and we start to realize, as things start to come around, this has got something to do with her. We meet Kevin Bacon in possibly his sleaziest role, playing a private detective that's been hired by the unseen killer. Also, have to say, Ty West, this is his Giallo homage, and I think he did a really good job of making it Giallo-esque without making it be a Giallo, if that makes sense.
No, that was actually something I was going to bring up, because you get like dark sunglasses, black coat, leather gloves, hat,
unseen killer,
some type of bladed weapon, and a mystery, but the rest of the movie doesn't follow the oblivious main character bullshit that you always get in 75% of those.
Right. And you have cops that are there and are present.
Yep.
But it's definitely because the killer is, wearing the black gloves and he's wearing the black fedora, and like there's a lot of musical cues that can be taken.
Yeah, and that's enough for it to be like, oh, I see what he's doing there. You don't have to push it so hard that it's like,
you don't have to make a Giallo. We've seen so many films over the last few years that are new versions of Giallos, and some of them work very well, but the majority of them miss the mark, I think.
Yeah.
But this does it really, really well, and it shows that Ty West is a fan of those films and understands those films, but also understands 80s slasher films and understands what, the A24 audience is looking for now.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a very nice meld of all of those styles that I think in someone else's hands might not work as well as it does.
You know what else was really nice about this? It had color.
Yes.
It was... It
very neon.
Felt bright like the 80s. Now in 85, that was sort of a transitional period, 84 to 86. It was a transition between horror movies, styles of both music and fashion, because you had the 70s lingering over into 82, 83, and then the new stuff starts coming out, and that's where this is. And you see people dressed like Kevin Bacon, like it's 1978. And then you have other people that are, wearing Joy Division shirts or whatever, because I don't know.
No, I know what you're saying, though.
And that's nice, because that's overlooked a lot, especially when it's more for a nostalgia bump than a setting. What's it called there? Stranger Things. It was fine in the first one, but it's like you're forcing it now. You're shoehorning too much in. And this just didn't. This was the 80s. And the only thing they shoehorned in was maybe the amount of coke everybody did. All right, do another bump. But you know what?
She opens up the cookie jar and it's just full of cocaine.
Yeah, and I normally I'm like, who the fuck is... No, I get it. It's the porn industry. It's it's the sex worker industry, because she does do peep show stuff too for the extra income. Because I don't even know if it's for the income, but that's an act, and she's practicing there too. So she's acting as much as she can, which now that I think about it, that's good character development.
Yeah. There's extra I felt in this one. I don't know whether this was, I felt like this one might have been written first. Like this might have been the first one. I don't know that for sure, but like, I just felt like the story in this one was much better developed than in the other two.
It was
by not
smaller.
overwriting it.
Yeah.
It was smaller. It wasn't overwritten. But all of the exterior characters that are brought in to kind of like hone the stuff in. So like Elizabeth Debicki plays the director of the horror film that she's going to be in. And she's been in a bunch of stuff. She's probably best known as Aisha in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, shit. That's where I knew her name and accent and haughty behavior.
Yep. But she played Princess Diana in The Crown.
Yeah. I remember seeing pictures.
She looks just like her.
Yeah.
Like crazy. But she is like not in this movie that much.
No.
But plays such an important role in moving Maxine's character from one place to the other.
Well, she's sort of a mentor for her.
In a way.
Yeah.
Or she's becoming a mentor.
Yeah.
But she's integral because number one, she gets Maxine to the backlots.
Right.
And we see that, they go into the psycho house and like the western towns. And there's this fucking great giallo type scene of her being chased through the streets of the backlot of Universal or whatever back studio it was. I don't remember where the psycho house actually still lives. I think it's Universal. And it's just this great, like her going through the facades of the houses and like just really, really cool scene.
That is really well thought out because they're showing you the facade that movies are in a movie that's pretending to be something that really happened from the 80s. Not that that's how the movie presents itself.
No, but I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So you're seeing the fake in the real and the fake in the real, which is, clever.
It is. I can't lie. Knowing how much I disliked the first two movies in this series, I was shocked at how much I liked this movie. And I was shocked that I enjoyed Mia Goth's performance as much as I did because, like I said, I've not been a fan, and that's just personal preference.
Yeah. Well, what you say to me all the time.
What?
That just means she's doing a good job.
She's doing a good job. Yeah.
I mean, she is. She is the very. Shit, I can't think of the right word, but she's begging the audience to not like her.
Yeah. Well, she shows her fucking ruthlessness in this. And when Kevin Bacon's following her and Kevin Bacon's trying to take her out because of things that we won't spoil here.
Right.
And she just she goes to her manager and is just like, "Hey, this fucking guy,
but
it's coming after
she
me."
does that thing that all women were told to do in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 50s, 70s. The keys between the fingers, and I've never seen a movie where that's happened or a real life situation where it needed to happen. But she fucked him up. You don't think about how bad that would be, just 3 keys being shoved at you as fast as possible.
No, it would hurt a lot.
In your face. It tore him up, and that was nice. Because, like, it's nice from a grim standpoint, because I'm always curious about stuff. So that itch has been scratched now.
My one thing that I will say about this that I didn't like, and it's come up a lot recently, is there's another plastic bag suffocation scene.
Oh God, they're so dumb.
Where no common sense. This guy, the killer guy, they're fighting or whatever, and he sneaks up behind her, throws a bag over her head, and then she starts grabbing his hands.
Yeah.
And again, you just grab the bag and rip it, and you're fine.
Stick your fucking finger in your mouth, hook, pull.
We've seen this, and I don't know why it's come up so much recently, but it's like, is that a trope that we can just stop?
I would like that, unless you're gonna do it like they did in Terrifier, where he does the saran wrap, she rips it off, and he looks at it like, "What the fuck was I thinking?"
Right,
and then keeps going, because like, that I like that little bit of commentary on the tropes of the genre. That was good. But but that's kind of like, you want to kill her, get a phone cord, like one of those stretchy phone cords from the 80s.
Hit her over the head. Knock her out that way.
I mean, yeah.
Like, anyway, but that's like one minor thing because there's some good gore in this. There's some craziness. The finale of the film, I think, is a little overbooked. Like, it gets
That's a good word, yeah.
A little bit much at the end, but it still ends up working. And I surprisingly enjoyed this way more than I thought it would. Anything you'd like to add before we grade?
Probably, but I can't think of anything.
All right, well, let me hit the button. All right, Chris, do you recommend, what is your grade for Maxine?
Well, since this is the third in a series, if you like the other two, go ahead. If you didn't, wait a couple weeks. If you really didn't, don't. This one, like if you don't, it's just, oh God, I can't even get my fucking thoughts together. This is a decisive one. This sort of feels like the series kind of feels like you mentioned John Waters or Cronenberg, and people will recoil because one time they saw somebody eat dog poop or something in one of those movies. So like you may be right, it may not. I don't know. I don't know about this one because I didn't like the middle one. The middle one specifically. The first one just felt like a rehash.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the most original one, but still, I didn't like her. I didn't want her to succeed. So, I don't know. I had a much better, more tangible reaction to The Sacrament and The Innkeepers and whatever that other one was.
House of the Devil?
Yeah. House of the Devil, I thought, well, that was a long time to do a 22-minute episode or something. Because really, it doesn't pay off till the end. Nothing literally happens that whole movie.
I like House of the Devil.
It looks really nice. The actors do a really good job. There is an incredibly shocking scene that takes place outside the house that I really like because it's so out of the blue, but it's not at the same time.
Yep. I know exactly what you're saying. Yep.
But it feels like Ty is really good with the visual, the actors, getting them to do what they're doing, the all the blood, any type of thing like that. He's good. He makes very well made, watchable, sometimes nice looking movies. The stories are the weakest part. This was a weak story. And so was the other two. Oh, some woman out in fucking Hicksville nowhere wants to be famous. So what? Like, what was special about her character? Nothing. I'm talking about Pearl.
I figured.
That character did nothing for me watching the thing. Is she going to die? Can we get this over with? No, we can't die because it's the second movie and you saw what happened to her in the first one. So, I don't know. The Vacation short actually gave me nightmares because that's a real situation that could happen. I'm not saying fantastical situations don't scare me, but this seemed like an easy thing for her to kind of get out of. Like, just move, or fuck, you want people to not recognize you? Pencil in some eyebrows, and I'm not making fun of her. It changes your face. She has very light eyebrows, and that's her thing. That's her look. Whatever. But when she has eyebrows on at the end of the film, I would never know it was her. Interesting. That's all she's got to do. I mean, the glasses thing sometimes does work on people. The Superman disguise. Also, I have an oppositional disorder where when people go hard on something, I'm like, what the fuck is the point of that? So
yep. I'm the same way, man.
I have to sort that out in my head, but as it stands, I guess to wrap my whole fucking rambling thing up, I'll probably watch these again, but not this year. And I didn't really have any problem with them. So they're just not, it's not Late Night with the Devil. I can't go back and just enjoy that,
Right.
Because they're mean. That's it, isn't it? Maxine is just a mean-spirited person when it comes to anything but herself. I don't know. Somebody write in and tell me why I'm wrong. I'm open to that.
I'm just waiting for you to give it a grade.
Oh, I didn't. I thought I did. Shit.
I don't think so. If you did, it was so quick I missed it.
All right. I'll go B-. Like I said, it's a really well-made, good-looking movie, but I think they over-convoluted it just too much for me.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so I'm gonna recommend it, but what I'm gonna recommend is if you haven't seen these, just skip Pearl. Don't watch Pearl. It doesn't add anything to this film, and it gives you a long-winded explanation for the Pearl character in X.
Yeah,
X is fine. Maxine is good.
Yeah, X.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I did. I was surprised again. Much like we talked about with Mad Max, I was a sucker for exploitation. I'm a sucker for giallo. So the giallo elements that are brought into this had me hooked pretty early on.
I was happy to see them. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the 80s aesthetic, and it's done very well in this. The soundtrack is excellent. The guy that works in the video store, that's a nice little ad there.
Oh, the one big thing that they get wrong about the 80s, like this got right because there's brown and yellow and orange and wood paneling fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
and
leftover 70s.
That's what the 80s was, moving over from that. And that's her place looks run down like 80s rundown.
Well, shitty Hollywood apartment.
They did a great job. I mean, yeah, but it could have been more modern and they could have been just like, no, it's the 80s, shut up. But they didn't.
They do a good job with it.
Yeah.
The look, the feel, the soundtrack, her mean-spirited character aside, her demeanor, the makeup, the outfits, like everything feels real, and not in like and it's across the board because like you had mentioned it a little bit briefly, and not these words, but like sometimes you take the extra effort with your main character to make sure that character looks of the time, but then you forget about the other people. The girl that was the director had the big parachute pants with like the stiletto boots on, and
right, and the Brigitte Nielsen hairdo.
Yep.
Yeah, really, really close paying attention because you can't just do 80s and just willy-nilly throw big hair on everybody. There's specific looks for TV shows, weather, news. Like they had a specific look, but then you got we have different haircuts for different things now. So why wouldn't we have back then, right?
Right, exactly, yeah. But overall, I it's my favorite of the three, like by far. I will give it a straight B. I said earlier, using my wrestling lingo, that the ending is a little bit overbooked, and gets for a film that's been played super straight through the whole thing, it gets kind of weird and maybe not metaphysical, but they get kind of wishy-washy with what's actually happening and what's not.
Yeah, it could have been a lot more, a lot neater when they tidied everything up. Could have been played
like a fucking an episode of Hunter.
Yeah, you mean where? Oh, it's the bad guy. Gotcha.
All right, it's over. You're a big movie star now. Good job.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think it's definitely worth checking out. I recommend if you haven't seen any of them, skip Pearl, watch X, then watch this. But you could honestly probably skip X because even though it's a direct continuation, you're not.
Yeah.
They give you everything you need to know.
In this one, though, it does show you things that happen in other movie that she may be running from or hiding or whatever, because that's not such a secret.
Correct.
It may be more surprising to see how this film shows you those things and have it be a surprise. Because we knew going in. I'd be interested to see somebody's reaction watching just this.
Yeah, if you knew, if you had seen, email us.
Yeah.
outside of cinema@gmail.com. All right. Joe is back after his hiatus with us. I believe he's on the third or fourth film.
It's been a month and a half. I have no idea.
From Lone Wolf and Cub. So let's see what Big Joe's got.
It's been a while. Hello, Bill. Hello, Chris. And hello, OTC Nation. Your boy Joe here. And, we're continuing on. It's been a while. This week, Bill made me watch Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart in Peril. Like this little tax deduction hasn't been imperiled almost every moment for the first 3 films.
Leave Grogu alone.
Regardless, in the words of a rap group that is just okay at best, but I've met them a few times working Detroit wrestling, and they're actually surprisingly good people. Abracadabra, boom shaka-day. I'm Violent J, and I'm back like a vertebrae. I'm also bad at keeping a schedule, apparently, and missed a week or 6. So let's knock the rust off of my melodious voice and the Lone Wolf and Cub series. When we left off, Ogami Ito had killed more people than John Wayne Gacy, but it's okay because he was hired to. Like, that makes a huge difference. And while I'm on this high horse, it's also perfectly fine to be doing all of this in front of a 3-year-old child. I'm sure in no way are you dextering this young lad. This is all going to be fine. Either I don't remember or they never really made it clear if or what Ito's actual goal here is. Like, it's a quest for revenge, but like either I don't remember or they weren't super clear about like who he's actually going. Like, you could say he wants to kill the men responsible for his wife's murder, but he killed some of them in the first film, like most of them. Like, and then he just started taking odd jobs here and there instead of heading straight for his target. Like, I've got pretty significant ADHD, but if someone murdered my wife, I am going to take a couple extra Adderall and, picking up, well, I'd have to go buy a sword somewhere, but you get the idea.
He had to level up
lose
first.
The plot on that one. I wouldn't get distracted. Like, I'm sure they'll tie this all together at some point, and there have been some common threads, but it's kind of the only thing I'm going to knock the series for so far as a whole. They kind of veered off the main quest in favor of side missions.
Yeah, there we go.
My fellow Fallout 76 players know exactly what that's like.
It's like having ADHD.
Journey. Lane at the responders camp needs me to get him some rad stag meat. I think at least one person had to pop for that joke.
Not
Whoever
me.
you are, you're
Sorry.
welcome. We open on a tit.
Nice. For tap.
Even porn takes more time getting to the goods. The pizza guy has to knock on the door first. Like, here they just open up like, bam, here's a tit. Enjoy, boys. Turns out that she's, are you ready for this? It's a big twist. Are you ready? Sitting down? She's a badass assassin on a quest for revenge.
Oh, no.
Mind blown. Meanwhile, Ito loses his son because he may be a world-class swordsman, but he is a mediocre father. I made the someone needs to call Child Protective Services joke before, but it fits, and it's a constant in this series. Daigoro runs off and follows some clowns away from a public setting. I guess it's okay because Stephen King didn't write this. And this child, who has been established to be able to understand and follow complex signals from his father during mortal combat, just runs into a field that's about to get set on fire.
Yeah. Tracks.
He doesn't get nominated for a Darwin Award just yet, and he runs into a mysterious swordsman who just does a soliloquy about how scary this kid is. Stranger danger is apparently not a thing in ancient Japan, and eventually sad dad samurai shows up, and wouldn't you know it, these guys know each other. They competed against each other in a sword fight long ago to determine who would be the shogun's executioner. And I think accounting would be a much more interesting profession if that's how promotions were determined.
Yeah.
Flashbacks reveal that Stranger Danger was the #1 prospect in his clan, who would eventually, the clan would eventually frame Ito for the shogun's death. And hey, I was wrong earlier. We are progressing the main story forward. Suck it, endless daily quests. Go kill some of the scorched yourself. Ito runs into the tattooed titty assassin. Sorry, I made myself laugh with Tattooed Titty Assassin. That'd be a great band name. Holy shit. And in a plot point that feels like Vince Russo wrote it, suddenly the object of her vengeance, her former master, shows up, and Ito just kind of stands off to the side, Ito and his 3-year-old son, while they fight to the death, and she gets her revenge, and then Ito just jobs her out in one move. That's Russo booking. Could we not have spared one of the 5-minute shots of Sad Dad Samurai looking pensive as he wanders the fields of Japan in order to tell more of that story? No? Okay. I forgot to mention this earlier, but in between each scene that progresses the story, Ito is just being constantly harassed by gangs of very specialized, very gimmicky assassins and ninjas, and basically everyone, seems like everyone in the Japanese countryside wants to be the one to deflate Sad Dad Samurai. It honestly looks absolutely exhausting. Seriously. SDS finally gets back on track. This guy needs Adderall more than I do, and goes after the now defined clan that did him and his family wrong. Dirty cheaters are going to cheat, though, and they break out the one thing I did not think I was going to see in these movies. To quote Rutger Hauer from Split Second, big fucking guns. They've got rifles. They've got a Gatling gun. Hell, they've even got some explosives. Long fight scene short. You know what? Let me go back. Long, pretty actually very good. Very good, very cool fight scene short. Ito wins the day, and he's on the cell because he got wicked fucked up, and he has a sword sticking out of his back. Little Daigoro pulls it out, and we fade out with Sad Dad Samurai pushing Junior in his cart off into the sunset. If ever there was a time to just let this kid walk next to you, fuck. Here's the thing. The good. Plenty of great action. It still makes sense after 4 films, and not many series can say that. And each installment flows from the previous one to the next one actually really well. These are really good. The bad. I have seen barns out here in rural Michigan painted with a more convincing blood red than what they used here in this movie. Also, they toned down like the 15-foot blood spray, but they supplemented it with having the actors react so big to everything that you would think this movie was directed by Harold Zoid. You got that joke? I'm proud of you. Baby Cart in Peril is going to get a B+. It was very enjoyable. That's pretty much par for the series. I'll be back next week with Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart in the Land of Demons. So either this series takes place over the course of like a month or so, or this kid should have outgrown this cart by now. Fucking helicopter parents, am I right? Anyway, I'll be back with that next week. So until then, be good, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe. Good to have you back. All right. I got to find Scott's segment. I didn't get it loaded up beforehand here. Okay. Let's see here. Reverend Scott. There he is. All right. So he knew that we were going to do Furiosa and Maxine, so I'm sure, I know he reviewed those on his segment, so I'm sure he's going to tell us how we're wrong.
Oh, okay. Without
he hasn't actually heard what we said
yeah.
yet, so.
Okay. That's fair. And basically they just work their way up the ladder to take out Shocker. I will say, watching a quick history of the series.
You love the Shocker.
Yeah. Mitch Pileggi, right?
2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Horace Pinker. Oh my God. I don't know what I was so excited about.
Holy fucking shit. With Reverend Scott.
Valentine's Day is coming up, so come on in and get your ice cream capes from Proud Carvel. We got Cookie Puss and Fudgy the Whale.
Hey there, Bill and Chris. This is Reverend Scott. And boy, oh boy, are we going to be talking some reviews today. But like for actual good movies this time.
And I knew going in that when I watched Madam Web.
Why?
Today we're going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to revisit my reviews of Furiosa and Maxine with 3 X's so we can just see how wrong you both were in your reviews of them today.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
Let's start with Furiosa, only 3 months after I saw it. How timely. You couldn't see it when it was new? But were you in the hospital or something?
I walked into the hospital with a broken knee in 3 places. It hurt.
Hot on the heels of Mad Max Fury Road, only 9 years later, comes the story about a character within a known IP the studio was willing to take a risk on, Furiosa. But will audiences take a risk on a Mad Max movie that's not featuring Mad Max?
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, the answer is no, because I went on a Saturday at 7 p.m. on opening holiday weekend, and it was less than a quarter full. So, is it because of the story? I don't think so personally. Similar to Fury Road, this is pretty simple. When Furiosa was a child in the Green Place, some wasteland bikers stumble upon an area that's right on the verge of finding all of her family there. So Furiosa tries to take action, but is eventually kidnapped in a very gnarly scene involving her mother popping a lot of heads with her sniper rifle. Fast forward a bit, and that wasteland biker finally gets Furiosa to his boss, Chris Hemsworth, aka Dr. Dementus. With a big nose, funky teeth, and a teddy bear on his belt, Dementus may be cordial to Furiosa, but he kidnapped her all the same. And he is not very nice to Furiosa's mother, an act that Furiosa will never forgive or forget.
It doesn't do anybody any favors. It doesn't help anything.
Yeah.
As we progress through Furiosa's childhood, we again meet Immortan Joe. Remember him? And his citadel of war boys. Dementus finds out very quickly that his crew can't just take over Joe, so he has to come up with another plan. So he decides to try and take over Joe's gas town, and eventually gets to keep Gastown without complication if he agrees to trade Furiosa to Joe. This is how Furiosa comes to be in the vault of the breeding women, or whatever they are. She eventually escapes the vault and blends in with all the other filthy boys working in the Citadel and just slowly moves up through the ranks until she eventually stows away on the gas semi driven by the resident cool guy Praetorian Jack. Jack has never had a gas run fail ever because he is a complete badass. In what might be one of the coolest scenes in a Mad Max film ever, we get to see an attempt to take over the gas truck by bikers with paragliders and all kinds of crazy shit, in which Jack finds out just how useful Furiosa can be in a fight. Because even though she could just try and escape anyway, she decides to help Jack survive. Which during the fight, I'm sure she was telling herself,
"What the fuck am I doing?"
Now, the keen listeners among you may notice how I haven't even mentioned Anya Taylor-Joy yet. Well, that's because up until this point in the film, she basically hasn't even been in it. Elila Brown plays Furiosa for at least half the movie. But there is this one cool thing that they do slowly over time during the film. Elila's face is just gradually morphed scene by scene into Anya Taylor-Joy's face until the actress is just completely replaced, making it a just totally seamless transition between the two actresses. Now, did it bother me that the main actress advertised in every piece of media for this movie was only really in the second half of the film, and that the other actress who does an amazing job through a majority of the movie isn't even shown in that material? I guess not, but at least they used a cool special effect to do it.
It looked cool enough that I was kind of like, all right, that's fine, whatever.
So anyway, Jack and Furiosa make an incredible team. There's actually some genuine chemistry between the two of them as well. And they try to hatch a plan to help Furiosa escape Immortan Joe and get back to her home. But this is a Mad Max Saga, so you know that shit can't go as planned. And I won't spoil the rest of this, but just know this isn't exactly Fury Road. And what I mean is while the action is intense, this isn't 100% balls to the wall, nonstop action like Fury Road was. This is more about world building, character building, the interactions involving talking instead of explosions. And I'm not gonna lie, I was not quite expecting that.
You went weird, man. Just roll with it.
Yeah.
But the more I think back about this, the more I like this change. I appreciate it. It makes it more of a unique movie that doesn't have to just strive to top the 2015 sequel. And speaking of that, it leads you directly into the events of Fury Road at the end of this one, and it does it so nicely it's insane. The more I think back about this, the more I like it. It does take a little bit longer to get through Furiosa's childhood than I might like, but that doesn't ruin the rest. This movie can stand on its own for the most part, and it could be watched before or after Fury Road and still work perfectly either way. But while the end of Furiosa may fit into the Mad Max Fury Road perfectly, the end credits are literally filled with random footage from Fury Road the movie. So to be honest, it's a very odd choice.
Not so much that it made me not like the film, but I was just kind of like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, do you think they went safe with the end just to like make sure it was accessible to people since the rest of it's kind of weird?
I didn't stick around for any of that shit. I mean, I can just go home and watch the whole damn movie instead, which I might just go do after this. So I give Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, a B+, bordering on an A-. It's kind of sad Furiosa wasn't a big hit at the box office. It deserved better. I blame you two.
Well, it's over and done with now, so there's really not anything I can do about it.
What we can do now is see if your opinions of MaXXXine hold up.
We need to not fuck this up.
Yeah.
I'm sure it won't end up in me having total disdain for all your future movie reviews. And speaking of disdain, how much did I have for the new Ty West written and directed third film in a trilogy called MaXXXine with 3 X's? A trilogy that I've only seen part 1 of, X. You see, MaXXXine with 3 X's is directly connected to X with 1 X, but both take place after Pearl, which was before X, but was released after X, but before MaXXXine with 3 X's.
Yeah, you told this story 3 weeks in the future, 2 days ago.
MaXXXine is now in Hollywood in this film, dancing at a strip club, I think, and auditioning for lots of movies. Or at least I think so. We've only seen her do one. Now she's calling herself Maxine Minx in an attempt to distance herself from her bloody past. Now you might expect me to say,
things have gotten worse since you've been away.
But no, not really. She's driving around in a convertible Mercedes SL. She also now has a shady agent, the Mandalorian and the Boys star, the Chicken Man himself, Giancarlo Esposito, aka Teddy Knight. And she just auditioned in front of the edgiest rising female star director of the time, Elizabeth Bender. She's that really tall, blonde model-looking woman from Tenet. She's making a horror sequel now, and she wants MaXXXine to be the star. But only after this female-powered director asks MaXXXine to show her breasts first.
Well, no, it doesn't always need that, but you know what? Fuck you, it does need that.
But as we all know about Hollyweird, things are dark and terrible around every corner. And promising young actresses are starting to disappear, then showing back up dead with pentagrams burned into their bodies. Because if you didn't know, this takes place, I think, around 1985, the peak time for the Night Stalker, because he's still out there. Are these more of his victims? It sure looks like it, but the police are just not sure about it yet. But just to be safe, the news recommends you just don't go out at night.
I do not recommend it either. It's bad.
So now detectives are tailing MaXXXine and trying to get her to answer questions. Because why are all these victims seemingly friends with MaXXXine before they die? Ooh, who knows? They don't have anything concrete yet, but it sure looks bad.
Yeah, but we don't have any proof, but there's a lot of questions we need to be getting answers to here.
Yeah.
On top of that, a man shrouded in mystery has hired a sleazeball private dick in an ill-fitting suit played by Kevin Bacon looking like peak scumbag to come and confront MaXXXine with info about her murderous past. But why? And if she doesn't give in to the demands, will he go to the cops with this info and ruin her blossoming acting career?
All right, yes, please feel free to panic.
There's a lot going on in MaXXXine, but at the same time, it all feels cohesive, and it all progresses the story with a purpose. While X, on the other hand, seemed more like a Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events. You know, wrong place, wrong time kind of movie. And Pearl sounds like a woman lashing out over regret.
Could have been.
Could have been, should have been, would have been.
Yeah.
MaXXXine feels more thought out, and it leads to a more exciting climax. Will Maxine dodge the cops and the shady PI? Will her past continue to haunt her? Who is the mystery man killing actresses and trying to track her down? Why does he want Maxine? Will Maxine finally attain her dreams? What kind of gas mileage does he get in that convertible SL Mercedes? Well, of course, I'm not going to tell you because I think it's worth seeing for yourself. Because if you liked X and Pearl, I think you may like this even better. Hell, if you didn't like X, beyond thinking Mia Goth was hot, you definitely will like Maxine. I recommend it, and I give it a B+. Borderline A-, as far as horror movies go. So how you think you did on your reviews? I'm sure pretty bad.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
I was going to reward you with my reviews of Cuckoo and Alien Romulus, but that's just not going to happen this week.
Why? Why not? Like, that's stupid.
Better luck next week. So until then, peace and love, guys. Holy shit.
With Robert Loggia and Scott Bakula.
No. It's holy shit.
With Dr. Pizza.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with us this week. Yeah, join the Patreon. It would help. I don't really got anything. I gotta go to the bathroom, and that's all I've been thinking about for the last 10 minutes. So we'll be back next week. I don't know what we're covering yet. We'll figure it out, and we'll go from there, everyone. So thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.